Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of NOLA Creative TV, you guys. Artist Edition. I have an amazing guest today, but before we get into it, y'all know I got to talk about some things. Some things. So, how y'all doing? If y'all are watching, be sure right now to hit that heart button, like this video. We need your support so that we can keep going. You know what I'm saying? So, hit that heart. Okay. So anyway, y'all, I am so excited to come to y'all today. First, because of my guest. Okay. And then second, because we are in the last week of Living Color Artist Unchained Seminar Edition. I'm wearing one of the new merch shirts with all of the instructor faces on it and the sponsors on the back. Woo, woo. It's so cute, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. If y'all have not checked out our merch website, y'all make sure y'all go and do that because we it's just so cute. Like the stuff is so cute. And I got my little sticker in too. Look how cute with all of our faces on it. It's just so cute. And yeah, so y'all go check it out. Show us some love, do some things. I want to make sure I shout out everybody who has been involved in this event. JustPaint.com, FacePaint.com, Creative Faces Glitter Sticks, Sparkling Glitz Boutique, Candy's Party Art and Unique Creations. I'm sporting her earrings today, which I'll show y'all when I come back on screen. Superstore, MyBlingtastic.com, Leanne Courtney, SVG Hannah, the Carter Link, NOLA Creative, and NOLA Creative Kids. And all of my instructors, y'all are thebomb.com, Eder, Mikhail, AC, Heather, Zuri, Debs, Shania, Andrea, Dominique, Aris, Amanda, Kai, Nyla, and Dream. I have to shout them out every time because they just, y'all, we had an amazing event. I cannot be more thankful and blessed about what we were able to accomplish this year. I'm just excited. So, any rate, I want to give a few quick shout outs real quick. Shout out to For the Love of Paint. They are my collab group. We get together and we paint together. I have not been a good collab partner because I've been busy with Living Color, but I'm about to get back on my painting. But shout out to them because they sent me a birthday gift and it's Melina's new stencils. Oh my God. I'm so excited about using these, y'all. And I'm actually going to do a review on my YouTube channel. So if you're not subscribed, I'm just saying you need to go and click the subscribe button and hit the bell. You feel me? Yeah, go do that. And if you just tuning in, y'all need to hit that heart. Also, shout out to Dominique House because she loves me and she sent me some new face boards because I was like, I need new face boards. So I have the new sky board from this is Sally Ann. And then I also have the Sparkling Faces one. So y'all gonna be seeing these with some new face paints on it and all of that. So shout out to Dominique for hooking me up because these are cute. I love them. And I am not going to make y'all wait any longer. I told you I have an amazing guest with me today, and I kind of hey Nika, yes, Nika in the building, Lenore in the building, Belle in the building, and who is this? Landony Dream is here, but she is playing her Sims game. Okay, so any case, I am not going to make y'all wait any longer. I have a special guest. I refer to her as my cousin, and y'all find out why. But I have this is going to be interesting because we have some things in common, and I'm just really excited about talking to her about so many things. I don't want to give it all the way, but I want to welcome to the show Lenore Koppelman. Yeah! I need some cheering or something. I need to insert like a little thing that cheers. Yes. Clear the path. Clear the path, cousin. The queen is coming through.
And here she comes.
Yes. Hey, Lenore. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me here.
Yes, of course. Yeah. So how are you?
I am amazing. I'm on this like very incredible podcast right now called NOLA Creative. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Big fan.
Yes, thank you. I'm a big fan of yours. And I'm so happy to have you. Yes, I'm so happy to have
My
you.
hair did.
Baby,
That's
you
all
are.
the hairs, not just one.
Yes, do it. Elka says, hey sis. Hey, that's my sister. Hey, Elka. Hey, Monica. Yes, hi family. Yes. Thank y'all so much for being here. If y'all are out there, thank y'all so much for being here. Thank you, Lenore, for being here. We're gonna hop into this. Lenore came up with the paint theme, as all of our guests do. And if you want to share with them what we're gonna be painting today.
Yes. So what I suggested, I said, okay, listen, I grew up in New Orleans and in the 80s, it was my childhood.
Wait, Lenore, did y'all hear how she pronounced that? I'm just saying, because that was perfect. You know how people pronounce it when they do it wrong.
Oh, New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Yeah. Like, one of my biggest pet peeves is watching a movie and like Kevin Costner or somebody's like, down in New Orleans. And I'm like, who are you and what? No one says that.
Where is New Orleans? Where is it?
We don't know. It's New Orleans. All right. New Orleans. That's New Orleans. That's all New Orleans. Yeah, you're right. New Orleans. So that's where I'm from. And so I love one of there are a few things that inspire my artwork, but nothing more than nostalgia. And for me, whether it's a belly painting, a face painting, a body painting, or illustrations artwork, it's a feeling of nostalgia, of remembering a really fun feeling or time of your childhood where things felt really innocent and pure and fun. And so since I grew up in New Orleans, for me, I wanted to do a theme that celebrates NOLA Creative and to come up with an idea of anything in the world from like your fun childhood growing up in New Orleans.
Yes.
And little did we know of all the things we could have picked.
I know, that is crazy. That's why I told you we cousins. I told you.
I had a long list. I was like, oh, am I going to paint a tribute to the Wax Museum? Am I going to maybe there'll be something like a parade or or
it could have been a Mardi Gras mask.
Yeah, or like Roman candy. I was going to do like the little Rosenberg's girl, and it's going to say too late. I have it a whole list. And then I was like, no, I know what I'm going to do. Should we tell them?
Yes, tell them.
So I decided I was going to paint a New Orleans snowball. And then I showed her my design, and she has the same idea.
Literally the same idea. We did not plan it.
We did not plan it.
The idea was supposed to be a general New Orleans theme, so it literally could have been anything. I could have did a streetcar, okay?
Yeah. I could have done a tribute to the
same thing.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It could have been anything, but no, we're both gonna do snowball.
We're doing snowballs, and y'all, this is why I say Lenore is my cousin. She's not really my cousin, but I'm just saying we cousins. I'm claiming her.
You know what? That's it. I'm moving in.
Come on.
That's it. That's it. Since I don't have family living in New Orleans anymore, when the idea of being able to visit and know somebody there, I'm very excited.
Listen,
so get the guest room ready.
Everybody who comes to town, I'm like, y'all hit me up. We gonna eat. We gonna hang out. Let's do it. I love seeing people and just being in the city and being now, I don't live directly in New Orleans right now. I live a little outside New Orleans, but I'm close enough where I can literally hop there.
Yeah. Where?
Oh, so I'm on North Shore.
Oh my God. I grew up in Harahan, which
really? Oh, okay. So you're on the other end, I think, of me, right?
Yeah. People are like, Harahan, what's that? And then the minute I say it's before Kenner, and they're like, oh, and then I'm like, River Bend,
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I got drunk there once, and then everyone does.
But there is nothing. I don't care what anybody says. There's nothing like New Orleans, the city, New Orleans.
Nothing.
There's nothing like it, no matter what.
Nothing.
So you always, no matter where you live, you always gonna find your way back.
You can take the girl out of New Orleans, but you can't take New Orleans out of the girl.
Never. Mm-hmm. So y'all, we are about to paint our snowballs, and we're gonna get into this interview.
Do it.
Because I'm telling you right now, we get together, we just gonna be talking. We gonna be talking.
We're gonna do it.
Yes. So I got my inspiration, you guys, from a shirt that I found. And it's actually not a snowball, it's a snow cone, but I'm gonna make it into a snowball.
Yeah.
So I made a little hey Tammy, hey Kathy, hey you guys. I made a little kind of like thing so I can share with y'all. This is actually what New Orleans snowballs look like. It describes what it is. So there's something called a snow cone and there's something called a snowball. Snowballs are different because the ice is very, very soft. Like it melts in your mouth. Like you don't have to crunch it. It's so good and soft and just, oh my God. And you guys can get this from any, like there's snowball stands all over New Orleans. Like they probably got like 40 of them, 50, 60. I don't know. It's a lot. But this is what they look like.
Our house.
Yes, this is what they look like. And they are good. And nowadays, I don't know if you've seen like the new age snowballs. You can get king cake in your snowball. You can get cupcake. Like y'all, it is like, I might have to do a series on my personal channel just for snowballs because it's insane.
God. That's so typical of New Orleans because like when I was a kid, it was like plain or condensed milk. Those were your options. You get a plain or condensed milk.
All day. Cotton candy and condensed milk. I still order that today. I still order it. Like literally this weekend, cotton candy and condensed milk. That is all me. In a gummy bear.
Oh.
For real.
Oh, that's so good.
Yes.
All right, we're gonna do this.
Okay, yes, we're about to do it. So let's get into how you even started with this face painting thing because I'm excited to hear about this. You from New Orleans?
Yes.
Let us have it.
So, what happened was like I was big surprise, like a super awkward kid. And which now I realize that the awkward people turn out to grow up to be the coolest, best people. But at the time when you're a kid, you don't always realize that. Mm-hmm. And so, I was teased a lot and just for being weird and chubby and just like very weird. And so I never felt cute. And then one day we were walking around the French Quarter and there was a woman who, and if any of you that are from New Orleans that like remember this, like that would be amazing because it was just such a life-changing thing for me. There was a woman who had an umbrella and I remember the umbrella was rainbow, like it had panels of different colors. Mm-hmm. And then she had like a floppy hat that had like silk flowers glued to it. And she wore long flowy skirts and she had face paint and it was these little tiny sticks that she would dip in a little like one of those plastic Mardi Gras cups that you get from parties. And she would dip it in, get it wet, and then she'd draw in your cheeks. And I think like, it was like very cheap back then. Where
was she on?
So there were usually two spots that we'd find her. Both were in Jackson Square. One was right outside. There was like this little toy shop that also sold stickers and candy. And that was like near one corner. And then the opposite place we would sometimes find her is on the opposite side of Jackson Square, like just clear across. And so like if you're looking at the cathedral, she'd be like on the left or on the far right corner. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't every weekend she was there, but she'd come sometimes and just set up her little umbrella. And the face painting back then was stuff like she would take these little sticks and she would draw a heart she would draw like a rainbow, but the rainbow was like, and a little squiggle of white, and like, there's your rainbow, right? And a star, and I felt so beautiful. I think her butterfly, like, it wasn't like full face stuff. For a butterfly, she would just draw a little butterfly on my cheek. And it was like this thing where all through breakfast, you know, we'd be eating our beignets, and I'd be like, you know, can we go? Can we go? Can we see if she's there? And they'd say, finish your breakfast and we'll go see if she's there today. And it was such an exciting thing for me. And when she wasn't there, it was very pouty and get very bitchy. And like, I was so sad. So I told my parents when I grew up, I want to be a face painter. And their reaction was kind of like, okay, sure. And, you know, like they have this look upon their faces like, that's not a real career. And they're very supportive. You know, they've always been supportive. Right. But they have this sort of like, that's not a real job. Kind of like, because they didn't know. I didn't know that could be a thing. So what ended up happening was that, you know, that thing that happens where you go off to school and study something else and go to be something else. And you just sort of forget what you wanted to do when you were little. Like it no longer occurs to you, oh, remember when I wanted to do this thing? And I sort of forgot it existed, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And then many, many years later, and, you know, working boring desk jobs that I was not good at and quite miserable at. And I wasn't good at them because, you know, I didn't enjoy it, wasn't happy.
Yeah.
And I went with my husband, he had a work conference in Portland, Oregon. And he said, do you want to come with me? And you can hang out in Portland while I'm at this conference. And I was shopping one day, and I went into a thrift store, and there was a very nice young woman that worked there named Amanda Killerin. Amanda, if you're watching, hi, I mentioned you.
Hey, Amanda.
Hi, and Amanda worked at this thrift store, and we started talking, and, you know, we liked each other's style and the way we dressed and everything. And so we ended up making plans because my husband was busy at this conference, and we were hanging out at her house trying to figure out what we were going to do that evening. And then she said, so listen, I have to go work a party and I'll be right back. And I said, what do you mean work a party? What do you do? And she said, I'm a face painter. And I was like, what? I was like, what? And my thought was, that's not a real job. Like, I was like,
right. Your parents had already told you that.
I was told that that's not a real job.
Right.
And so she was like, no, really, I go to kids' parties and I paint their faces. And I was like, I feel like I've been lied to. Like, there was a part of me that was like thinking the way that I was brought up. Like, okay, you know, that's cute. Go enjoy that. And I hung out with her dog on the couch until she got back. And we're still friends. We had a great time.
That's insane.
Right? And so then, you know, that was like the first little hint of something. And then, you know, I kept on doing my boring desk jobs, and I was so unhappy. And then one day they said, you know, I can say it now, right? Who cares? I was working for Kaplan in Manhattan, and they were like, we're going to have a company appreciation pizza party. Mm-hmm. Where the people who, you know, like, we want to celebrate what great employees you are. So we're going to order pizza and thank you. And the higher ups came down, like, and I was like, oh, they flew in from Chicago for this. So I noticed they were very quiet, and they were just like not really like looking at us. And it was like, something's up. And then they took us into the room for our surprise pizza party, and they gave us all severance packages. We were all getting laid off.
OMG, that's horrible.
Right? Like, oh, and everyone's like, oh, here's the pizza. And I'm like, they're not looking at us. Like, this is
horrible.
They tricked us. They, like, if any of you were working for Kaplan in New York City and you were there, you know, we were all like, so everybody at the table was like in shock. People were crying. And this was me. Yes. like, oh my God, I just got laid off. I was so happy.
OMG. So wait, okay. So you got laid off.
I got laid off.
What did you go to your friend and was like, I want to work with you as a first?
Well, I mean, she lived far away. She lived in Portland.
Okay.
I mean, at that point, I met up my husband for lunch, and he was like, "Aren't you supposed to be eating pizza today for your pizza?" And I'm like, "No, we all got these." I handed him the package, and he said, "So what are we going to do now?" And I said, "Well, I think I want to start my own business doing something." But at that point, I didn't know what. I was convinced that I knew I'm very, very happy hanging out, like having fun with young kids, because I'm a big kid. Right. And I was tired of working in stuffy offices in cubicles around grown-ups. And I was like, yeah, I know that I look like a grown-up, and maybe it's my ADHD, I don't know, but I'm a big kid. I'm not great at adulting. So I thought kids parties. So my idea.
I cannot. You laughing before you get the joke out, Lenore.
My business was going to be creating goodie bags, like very like amazing, over the top goodie bags for parties. Okay. And I was going to call it Lenore's Fun Bags. I was going to call it Lenore's Fun Bags. And my husband was like, I don't know if that's appropriate. And I'm like, what? I'm fun. I'm Lenore.
Right.
Like, oh.
Wait, but what? Did he not like it? I like the name. I think it's
cute. He was like, that's a little suggestive. And I'm like, what do you mean? And so he just thought that it sounded a little dirty. So if any of you think that it's a great name for a kid's business, you can have it. Lenore's Fun Bags. It's yours.
It's yours.
So at that point, I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I really didn't know. And at that point, we had a baby and blah, blah, blah. You guys know Ralphie. But I still didn't know what I was going to do. And then I read this book called The Happiness Project by Gretchen Rubin.
Okay.
And I highly recommend this book, especially if you are miserable in any way, shape, or form. You need to read The Happiness Project. I read it, and there was this part where the author, Gretchen Rubin, was studying to be a lawyer. Mm-hmm. And she went to a friend's house who was studying to be a doctor, and there were medical books everywhere. And she said to her friend, like, oh my gosh, they make you read all this stuff. And she said, oh, they don't make me read it. I just love it. I just can't stop reading it. I'm obsessed with this stuff. And she said, oh, I don't read law books for fun. And her friend was like, well, maybe you should rethink being a lawyer.
Right.
So then at that point, she started to think about if she could do a job, if she could do something every day, like bills were not a thing. If she had no rent, if she had no bills, if she had like nothing to pay for, and she could just do whatever she wanted, and everything was taken care of, what would she do? And she realized she'd be a writer. And then she said, okay, how do I make money doing that? So that's when I had this moment. And I was like, if I didn't have bills, didn't have this or that, what would I do? And all I could think of was this woman painting my face, this joyful, happy, wonderful woman when I was little. And the joy I felt, how she transformed me and made me feel beautiful. And how she must have felt knowing that I was coming to her, this like sad little girl, and leaving that chair like this. And I thought, I'm going to be a face painter. I'm going to be a face painter. And it wasn't just, I want to be this someday. It was, this is what I'm going to do. And within, I think it was about like maybe 4 weeks, I had already gotten my business license. I couldn't paint yet. Oh, y'all, I had like the Snazaroo kit from Michael's. My first, it was insured and everything, showing up, and I'm like, I can do like 4 designs. And this one girl was like, can you do a dolphin? Now, something you should know about me is I'm neurodiverse, which means that my brain works a little bit differently than other people. I have what they call ADHD, and I'm autistic. So I take things very literally sometimes. And when she said, I'd like to get a dolphin, I want to be a dolphin, you, as a neurotypical person or an holistic person, as they would say, would be like, yes, I can paint a dolphin on your face with a rainbow and whatever.
Right.
My brain, so literal, is like, she wants to become a dolphin. How do you do that?
Right.
Oh, honey. I painted her face this bluish gray color. And then I was like, okay, they have eyes. And instead of being like, well, she already has eyes, I was like, their eyes are sort of on the side of their head. So I did like an eye here and here. Oh, I'm going to have to send you the photo so you can share. Because
what did she say when you were done?
She looked like sort of like Cookie Monster on crack. Right? And I just looked at it. And she's like, I wanted a dolphin. And I'm like, you are a dolphin. Look. And she's like, okay.
No.
Fail. Within 5 minutes, I looked across the playground where the party was, and I saw her mother by a water fountain. And I'm wonderful. This mother, she's one of my best friends. This little girl, has grown into an amazing young woman. It's so like a mind bomb to me that I'm still so close with them that she'd still talk to me after this, frankly. Her mom was taking off the paint. And, and I was like, I didn't blame her at all, but it was bad, y'all. And I love showing that photo when I teach at conventions. Like, this was my best thing.
Andrea says she wants to see a pic too. Me too,
you got it. The first time I taught, actually put it up on a PowerPoint, in front of a huge room of students. This was at Bodycon Dallas, my first teaching convention. Yeah. And I said, I would like a vote. Who thinks this is a Smurf? Raise your hand. People were like, who thinks it's a Cookie Monster? And they're like, who thinks this is a dolphin? And people are like,
no, not at all.
So my point is, I was not great when I started. But being ADHD, I flew into what we call ADHD hyperfocus, which is a thing that my brain does when I am extremely excited about something new. And usually I get hyper-focused burnout, which is like, oh, here's a new thing I'm really, really into, and it's all I want to think about, and it's all I want to do, and it's all I'm bored with it now. We're done. Oh, look at this other thing. I'm going to do that now. And that's what normally happens. But that didn't happen with face painting. And now it's like 8.5 years later, and my brain never got burnt out from doing it. And I don't understand why.
That's what I was going to say. Do you have a reason of why it would
It's literally the only thing in my life that I've ever stuck to. And my family, when I was like, I'm going to do this, they're like, because my family loves me. Look, they're amazing, wonderful people. And I don't blame them one bit for being like, what the F is up with her? Right. Is she going to be okay? Because she gets all these ideas for things she wants to do and start, and she never follows through, because that's classic ADHD. And what ends up happening is I followed through once in my life, and they were like, oh my gosh, she did it. And I'm like, oh my God, I did it. It's like the craziest thing. And I kept waiting for that burnout, and it's the only thing I've ever done that I didn't get burned out with.
Yeah.
So I still do it, and that's how it all came to be.
You know what? I'm listening to this story, so many things come to my mind listening to you talk about this. For one, this, like I said, I don't think anything happens. I think everything is supposed to happen, how it happened. You meeting that girl, it couldn't have worked out any better.
I could have gone into any other store.
You have an experience with the lady who was painting your face all that time. I couldn't see that being a better, just to encourage what you already had, in you, at some point. It's crazy because, and then now I'm listening to you talk about ADHD, and that sounds like me, because I done started so many different hobbies.
Yeah, that's very difficult. So people with ADHD, I didn't know this until when I was diagnosed, and the psychiatrist who diagnosed me was like, yeah, actually, one of the criteria. So it was like this very long evaluation process. And within this like 75-minute kind of like interview about my life, she said, so do you own your own business? And I said, yes. And she said, uh-huh. Is it a creative business? And I said, yes. And she said, uh-huh. And I said, how did you know that? And she said, it is very common for people who have ADHD to own their own business and it be a creative business. And it's because they often have trouble staying in jobs where they're not in control. They get fired easily, or they just get confused about, yeah, right? Like mind blown. She said, you know, like, and it's usually artists because they think very creatively and their brain works in this way that's more creative. And so, you know, if you've been fired a lot, or you've just been like, you didn't understand the instructions, like people were like, I'm going to train you how to use this register. I'm going to train you on this computer system. And your brain was just like, I don't get it. Why don't I get it? Everyone else gets it. Everyone gets everything but me. Why don't I ever understand anything? Why can't I grow up? Everyone else is like, you know, doing this thing where they're adults and they can do these things. And I don't understand this register. And this teenager is getting it. What is wrong with me? And then I realized I have ADHD. There's nothing wrong with me. I have a brain that works differently. And my differences lay in my frontal cortex. And that, you know, and that I need medication to sort of improve the way it works, but it doesn't cure me. I still am very ADHD. It's just better. And she was like, oh yeah, this is totally so common. I have clients who have the most creative businesses, and when they own their own business, they don't get fired, and they don't, you know, they don't have someone else trying to teach them stuff that they don't understand, you know? Like, here's the thing.
Like on your own terms, too.
It's on your own terms. Yeah. And look, and the other thing she pointed out to me, she said, yeah, it's usually, not always, but usually a job where it's not like one thing or person you're working for, it's multiple clients. Because if you mess up because of your ADHD and have a bad experience with one client, you've lost one client. And you move on to the next one. So it's very, very common for people with ADHD to have creative jobs where they're self-employed with multiple clients, where they get a shot over and over again. They get a new chance each time.
Yeah. No, I can relate to so much of what you said, because like I've had jobs, like I've been in jobs. I've been able to do technology and stuff like that. My other profession is YouTube, so I have to know how to edit and do all of these different things. So that's that I relate to, on the sense of like me starting so many different projects, not finishing. I've had so many different hobbies that my garage is a hot mess, like, because it's literally like so many different things.
Well, in evaluation, she was like, so how many times did you change majors in college? How many hobbies did you have growing up? And how long did each one last? Like, these were all the questions she was asking during this evaluation. And I was just like, oh my God, this is it. Like, one of the things she said was like, is it that you enjoy learning new things as long as it's something you're interested in? But if you're not interested in it, your brain can't understand it.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, that's me. But if you're interested in it, it's all you want to think about, all you want to do. And you just get it's actually called ADHD hyperfocus. So when people were like, and look, this sounds super braggy, I don't mean for it to, but people were like, oh, this is a pretty nice face painting. How long have you been painting? And I'm like, a year. And this was me when I started, and this is me now. And they're like, how did you do that? And I look back at those now and I'm like, oh, but back then, and I was like, you know, I didn't know what hyperfocus was, or ADHD or anything. I thought ADHD was a thing little hyperactive boys have when they're little.
Yeah.
I didn't know it's hyperactivity of the brain. And it's not necessarily a physical body kind of hyperactivity. And so I was like, you know, I don't know. I just know that when I'm really interested in something, it's all I want to do. My house will go to heck. and I'll forget to shower, and I will forget to eat, and like no, I never forget to eat. Let's be honest. But like, you know, and it's all I want to do, and now I know why. It's pretty cool. It's my superpower.
That is, like, I can relate to so much of what you're saying. Like, it makes me want to go get checked out.
Go get checked out, girl. Women and girls are so underdiagnosed when it comes to autism and ADHD, or they're misdiagnosed. Like they're told, you just, like for years, I was told, you just have anxiety. I went to so many therapists over my life and spent so much money. They were just like, you're just nervous. You just have anxiety. And then I found out, no, the anxiety comes from feeling overwhelmed by life because I have ADHD.
Right.
So when that got treated, the anxiety went away.
Right. That makes so much sense. Wow. Like my brain is turning.
Right.
There's so many things I think about with that, but you've been able to get through all of that and still prevail. Like with your business. Yes, you are. You are. You are super awesome.
See, yes, bipolar disorder is like a lot of doctors will misdiagnose. Oh, you're bipolar, or you have anxiety. That's very common. And I didn't know that till the doctor told me that. She was like, she said, usually it's male doctors. Whoever just said I was misdiagnosed as bipolar, did you have a male doctor? Because that happens a lot.
Yeah. You know, like, it's crazy because it's like, as you go to school as a doctor so that you can look at the actual symptoms to diagnose somebody, not what you have in your brain as far as what women can get and what men can get. But yet we see it all the time in the healthcare community of people just kind of like, oh, well, it must be this because it's a girl. You know.
Yeah. I remember my dad taking me to Ochsner, like something's wrong.
Right.
The lady, the shrink at Ochsner, like she's just shy. Right. She's just, I'm shy. Have you guys met me? Not shy.
No, not shy at all.
Oh my goodness.
At all. So tell us more about, like, what are you doing right now as far as face painting? Are you back at work or?
So I'm not face painting yet. And I think part of it is that, so I live in Astoria, Queens. And if anybody last year was watching the news, watching TV, you would see that the heart, like the worst part of COVID hit for a while was at the 2 hospitals within walking distance of my home.
Wow.
So I was literally in the heart. So you saw all over the news when it was like, I guess this was like February, March of last year, where it was either about Elmhurst Hospital or Mount Sinai, Queens. And I live a mile in between. Basically, like those two. I'm slightly closer than the other. I think one is like, almost 2 miles and, but still walkable. And the other is like the one I walk to when I have a doctor's appointment. And I would walk my dog by the hospital with my mask and everything. And there would be freezer trucks outside, and we knew it was bodies. And it was very traumatic. Everyone here was super traumatized. And when we saw people in other parts of the country painting, we couldn't even fathom what that was like because of what was happening here.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of, and it was constant sirens all the time. And we would see our neighbors, being wheeled out. And there was this thing of like, you'd be like, whatever happened to that person? Oh, they're no longer with us. In like neighbors where you don't know their name, but you see them all the time and you know their faces. And there's like the little old lady that lives over there, or the little old man that sits on the porch over there and waves when you walk by. And we were finding out like these people had passed. And it was so traumatic that I think there's in New York City, especially, there's this PTSD about COVID that other parts of the country don't feel as much, I think. And so because of that, face painting here is making a very slow comeback. And some people are already painting. I'm not. what I've decided to do, and this is actually just last weekend was my first gig back, is we're offering well, when I say we, I mean myself and the people I subcontract. We're doing balloon twisting. We're doing arm paint. We're offering arm painting. So the child has to wear a mask, turn their head, and I will paint their arm. And we're offering caricature art, which is mostly me begging Lorelai and Clarice to please draw. Those two are just so mind-blowingly amazing. And I'm starting to offer maternity belly painting again, but outdoors. Let's go to a park and I will paint your belly and we will take pictures in the trees. And, I would not have a pregnant woman climb a tree. I just mean.
Well, we hope not. No,
I don't think my insurance would cover that. So we're finding creative ways to sort of get around things. And I'm finding not a lot of pushback. Like the clients who normally hire me, when they ask and I say, oh, this is what we're doing, they're like, yeah, that sounds better, because people are traumatized here. It's understandable. But I am really hoping that as the numbers continue to decline, because our numbers are doing pretty good here now, that hopefully by sometime in the summer or fall, definitely the fall. So the plan my husband came up with, which I thought was brilliant, he's so good at stuff like this, these ideas, is to come up with a number that makes sense in terms of like when the numbers get, like schools, like my son's school does, when the numbers get below this opens. When it gets above this, it closes, right? So instead of saying our opening date is blank and then finding out, oh, we're having another surge, instead you just make the numbers the thing that determines. So we're going to choose a number. He's going to help me pick it because I'm like, I don't know what to pick. How do I do that?
Right.
He's going to, because he's very smart, you guys. I've got a smarty pants husband who, he's the brain in that sense. And, he's going to pick a number, and then we're just going to do that. And, I love anyone who says y'all. That makes me so happy. Y'all are a bubbly ray of sunshine.
You're from New Orleans, too. That's one of my friends.
Hey! So that's what we're doing, and I feel good about it. It feels right. It feels doable. I like that because I can charge the same face painting or arm painting. It's hourly. And then depending on what the numbers do, I can, say, oh, the numbers changed, so we're going to switch to arms for your party, but you're already under contract, so everything's going to stay the same. It's just different,
Right.
So that's where I am.
Yeah, that's interesting. And that's crazy all at once, because I definitely was like, I caught a few of y'all's thing with y'all mayor talking about like how y'all was, like, handling everything, which was crazy. Like,
it was intense.
Yeah, it was very intense. It was
intense. It was constant sirens, and like it was hot, so we had the windows open. I don't know if y'all know this, but in New York City, unless you are like mega rich, you don't have central AC. No, like you have window units. Like you either buy a window unit that pops in the window or fans that go in the window, like those box fans.
That sounds hot.
Yeah, we have window units, but we don't. But unless you like have a lot of money and you end up like living in some like fancy schmancy, like high rise or whatever, and those are so expensive.
Okay, I got a bone to pick with the founding fathers. Okay, because what would they think,
honey? Right?
Wait, so y'all don't have central air or heat?
Oh, well, no, we have like those old, like pre-war
radiators.
Radiators. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That's kind of like what they used to have, kind of St. Charles.
Yeah. Most of the buildings here are pre-war, and it's not unless it's like an upgraded, newer building that they put those things in. But it's like, super, super expensive. Yeah, you can see I'm schwitzing. Look at this all over.
Yeah. No, that's crazy. Yeah, I cannot even imagine. I'm in Louisiana. I can't even imagine not having central air. That's like basically dying. Like,
yeah. Oh no, you couldn't have like the humidity from back home and not have central air. You die.
Yeah,
like,
nah.
But I do miss New Orleans so much.
I know.
So
You
much.
gotta come visit. We gotta have lunch. We gotta go eat some crawfish. We gotta get
so many things. Like I told my husband, like, you know, we're like on this healthy eating kick, and I said, just so you know, though, when we get to New Orleans, he's like, oh, I know, it's on. It's on.
But you know what though? I'm gonna be real. Like they have some new like up and coming chefs and stuff that been coming up with some really unique vegan options that taste like real seafood. And like I'm gonna be doing a little mini series.
Oh wow.
Not mini. It's probably gonna be longer than a mini because I'm gonna be going visit some New Orleans eateries. And I have some vegan options that I'm gonna be trying. So I have to keep you posted.
I love it. So are you vegan?
So I stopped eating meat about 2, 3. I was going on 3 years, maybe.
Nice.
2 years. So I still eat seafood, but meat like steak, pork, all that stuff. Like I don't eat that anymore. Which is it's kind of hard, but it's been one of those things where it's like I wanted to try it. Like I wanted to try it because I think, like health wise, I felt like after watching like this, I watched something that talked about like where this meat was coming from and like all these different things, and it really grossed me out. So I was like,
I
don't think I want this no more. So I literally cold turkey stopped eating it. But
well, that's what happened for, you know, Annalie Rivera, right?
Yes.
She's one of my best friends. Yeah. And she saw a movie. She was like, yeah, no, we're not doing that anymore. And that's,
it was bad enough that I just stopped cold turkey. It was that bad. But I'm not going to lie. Like recently I've been having strong desires to have some fried chicken.
Oh.
Like I want some chicken wings.
Well, if you do a series like this, we have to tell Annalie about it so that she can watch, so that when she and I go to New Orleans to visit you, she'll know exactly where to
y'all don't know exactly where to go because I'm doing specifically some that are vegan options, and then I'm going to be going visit some seafood places, but not anything that has just meat by itself because I'm not.
That's neat. I mean, I'm not vegan, but I love good food. Yeah. And there's a lot of super delicious vegan food. And so, you know, I'm in. Count me in. I'll go with y'all.
Oh, yes. Good. So, yeah, that'll be cool. That'll be super duper cool. So definitely looking forward to trying out some different eateries and seeing. So speaking of food, I wanted to talk I want Lenore to tell y'all about her journey, her new food journey. And she also has a new account on Instagram that kind of documents this new food journey. So can you talk more about that and what made you get into this new eating stuff?
So, for a really long time, I have, since I was really young, struggled with my weight. And I didn't understand why. When I was like, I think I was maybe like in my mid-20s or so, I even had weight loss surgery and still gained it all back. Like, nothing was working for me. It was just compulsion to eat. And I since found out, because I didn't know I had ADHD, y'all. I didn't know that apparently if you have ADHD, you're more prone to addictions. And it's because your brain does not create enough dopamine and serotonin on its own. And so you're more prone to have trouble with impulse control and with things like resisting things that give you a burst of dopamine, basically. It's hard to turn down things that you know do that. So people with ADHD are more prone to being drug addicted or gambling addicted or whatever, in my case, food addicted. And so I didn't know at the time. I was just like, why am I like this? And then the thing that sort of shifted for me, it's so embarrassing because every time I say it, I just sound like this like silly little fangirl. But it was the first time I ever saw a Lizzo video.
Oh.
And I was like, my first thought was, she's so beautiful. She's so hot. She's so sexy. She's so amazing. And then my second thought was, here I am, like looking at her like she's just this gorgeous, beautiful woman. And I have a very similar body. So why don't I feel that way about myself?
Right.
And then like this sort of like thing went in my brain, this sort of like, it's hard to explain, but it was just like, you know, a shift happened. And then when that happened, I thought, well, you know, if she is that beautiful and that's her body, then maybe I'm more beautiful than I think I am. And maybe I need to feel as comfortable in my skin as Lizzo. So then Lizzo sort of became my idol. She became like,
oh my God. This is music to my ears. I love Lizzo.
Like to me, it was the most healing. I remember seeing a video and just crying and being like, I don't know who she is. I have to find out. But she just like, I was just crying going, oh my God, my soul needed this so much. This beautiful big woman and like men gazing at her in the video like she is cake. And I'm just like, maybe I'm cake. Oh, and then everything just sort of changed for me where I would see like a photograph of like a two-piece and a big girl in a two-piece. And I'm like, she looks good. And I'm like, can I do a two-piece? And like seeing like pretty dresses, and instead of wearing things that hide me, like I would wear, people who saw me at conventions know, I would wear all black and baggy. And my thought process was to sort of like hide myself in dark clothes, shrink and make myself look smaller. And I'd be like wearing girdles under it to like suck myself in. And I'd be teaching under lights, like pouring with sweat from all the girdles and just not comfortable in my own skin. And so Lizzo, very comfortable in her own skin, my size, we wear the same size. And I was like, okay, you know what? I just made a decision right now. I am cake. Like, I am cake. If Lizzo's cake, I'm cake. And then I went into this whole like, you know, self-appreciation thing. And it's not so much that, not that there's anything wrong with the fat appreciation movement or fat positive, like that's great. Like but my thing was more about me appreciation and me positivity and just for however I was. So I think it's important to preface this by saying that the way I started eating is not for me to lose weight, because I don't want it to come across to anybody like, I need to lose weight to love myself or to feel pretty or whatever. I am done with that. 45, I'm 46 now. And for 45 years, that was
I'm telling you, it's running our family. We good. We good.
Really good.
Stuff.
People have asked, well, I shouldn't say this now that you let me know you don't eat meat, but people are like, what's your secret? Like, is it like a lotion you use? And I'm like, my secret is pork fat.
Really?
Like, what? Like bacon. And look, like when you're chubby, it fills out the wrinkles. I don't know. But anyway.
Listen.
My
That's one of the things I miss eating so much is bacon. Like I don't even eat like pork chops. I could do without, but bacon is one of the things I really miss. That salt, that salt, just the salt. It's so salty.
So but the way that I eat now, this is interesting. Is so I realized my doctor told me it wasn't so much like I think I'm insulin resistant. My doctor looked at my blood work and said, you're insulin resistant.
Right.
I'm like, I don't know what that means, honey. You gotta use words I know.
Layman's terms, please.
Lay it in I'm not a doctor terms. And she was like, well, it means you're borderline diabetic. And so I was like, oh, so if I don't fix something, I'll become diabetic. And she's like, yeah, that's basically what borderline diabetic means and how that works. Right. So I was like, I could do without the sass, but okay. So, okay.
Check.
So we didn't all go to medical school, honey. Okay.
Right.
So at that point I was like, all right, so what can I do? And I realized through the whole ADHD diagnosis and everything, the thing that gives me dopamine and serotonin when my brain doesn't get it from the medication I'm supposed to be taking is sugar. Sugar, 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 sugar. And not just candy sugar, but like things that don't look like sugar in your hand, but turn into sugar in your body. So like, anything that makes my body create a burst of insulin makes my brain go, woo, we're happy now. And it's like it's like a real addiction, like drugs. Am I saying I'm cured? No. I'm not gonna lie. I had ice cream with Annalie on Sunday, and and the whole time my brain's like, "Yay, sugar!" And I'm like, "Calm down, bitch. Okay, like,
right.
I'm not going back to the whole time. Okay, like calm down." So like it's not like I'm never having it again. There are bursts of it. Like on my birthday, I had a piece of real cake.
Right.
But I did go through a very strict detox process where I ate nothing that would become sugar in my body except for certain fruits and things like that. But in terms of like bread or pasta or whatever, and it wasn't so much to lose weight as much as it was to learn how to control my insulin resistance and to detox from the sugar addiction. And it got to this point where now like I can have a small bit of something and stop. Mostly because I'm so detoxed from it that I can taste it now and go, oh, this is so good. And then if I have slightly too much, I suddenly get really sick. Like I start sweating and my heart starts pounding and I feel like I need to go to sleep. Like I want to lie down. It's like a very weird reaction. And it's because my body's just not accustomed to it anymore. And it makes it less enjoyable, which is nice.
Right.
So now I guess what I went through the detox is no sugar. Now I do occasionally eat some because, I'm not perfect and I'm like, all right, forget this. I had a hard day. I want a cookie.
Right.
But it's like, I will eat 3/4 of that cookie and be like, I don't feel so good.
Like it totally turns you off of it.
Yeah, it just makes your system not accept it the same way. And so that's my journey, but it's not so much a how to, like, Lenore's trying to lose weight by not eating sugar. I am finally happy with, in fact, I'm kind of screwed if I lose too much weight, to be honest, because when I went through my whole like self-acceptance phase, I bought like a whole new wardrobe of super smexy big girl clothes.
Yes.
And I want to mix my wardrobe, so I can't, get too thin, you guys. So occasionally cake is necessary in order to keep wearing my outfits. But for the most part, my blood work is better and I feel better. And I can think more clearly. And
so are you at a place?
Serotonin and dopamine from medication and also from exercise. Basically my only exercise at this point that I really enjoy is walking my dog, but she's a fast little girl. So, and just things that bring me joy, I look for things like I found out that you can get bursts of serotonin and dopamine from smelling dirt because they're not bacteria. That's the wrong word, Lenore. Way to screw it up. It's like microorganisms. That's it. In the soil that like give you small bursts of dopamine and serotonin, which is why people that are outdoors a lot or gardening or whatever, like are so happy. So sometimes I'll just feel like outside at the playground smelling dirt.
Right.
I need to feel happy and I don't want to eat a bunch of sugar. So I'm just gonna smell the dirt.
Let me tell you, I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't be smelling dirt. I'm just saying, like, all I could think about is ringworms. Like,
it's gone too far.
like I couldn't do it. Like, I don't know. Me and dirt just never got along. I was that kid. I have to wear gloves when I do my gardening. Like, I don't want to touch the dirt.
Oh, you're probably a very neat painter, huh?
I don't think so. but my mama would tell me, like, even when I played outside, like I don't have a lot of scars because I didn't want to have to fall. I didn't want to fall. I didn't want to touch the dirt. I was that kid. Yeah, I was that kid.
I paint a lot with Annalie, like before pandemic. We do a lot of gigs together.
But you know what? White.
Yeah. So I'm that super messy painter, and she's like the neatest, most meticulous painter. And like at the end of the gig, I'm just like, my hand, and I'm just like, that was fun. And she just looks so clean.
Yeah, I'm definitely. I guess I would say I'm a clean painter then. So Shauna says I had to quit sugar for the same reason, so she can relate. And Lenore, you crack me up. Occasionally, cake is necessary to fit into.
Yeah, because like, look, first of all, what is it they say? Like, you know, the bigger you are, the harder you are to kidnap. So there are safety reasons involved for the occasional piece. You know, like I'm just looking out for myself, putting myself first. But it's also, the thing is that growing up with an eating disorder, it's so easy for me to focus everything on my weight, which is the worst thing I can do. Like every thought, every anxiety, every like feeling of myself, you know, do I feel good about myself today? Am I a confident person? Am I a happy person? Well, it depends. How much do I weigh today? And that's so much of what eating disorders are about. And so whether you're big or small, it goes either way. Yeah. And so by trying to teach myself with a lot of help from therapy and a little medication, that my self-worth should not and will not be dependent on what I look like and how I weigh and how much I weigh and what clothing size I wear. But that at the same time, it's okay for me to not want to be diabetic. And there's this like nice in between where I don't have to be like, oh, I totally resist all diet culture because it's all toxic. And I also, you know, don't have to be like, you know, I want to, you know, show the world that I can eat whatever I want, blah, blah, blah. You know, like there's this in between where I can be like, yeah, I want to appreciate who I am in whatever size I am. And if I feel like eating a piece of cake today, F it, I will. I'm not going to be a slave to my anxieties about food. And I'm going to just let food be a thing that I just eat sometimes and not encompass my whole life. But at the same time, I also don't feel like becoming diabetic, and I was this close to it. So why not try and, you know, maybe pick something, you know, a little smarter for my current situation. Yeah. So I'm sort of in between. Sometimes, you know,
and I mean, that's self-care. You know, that's a part of self-care too. Like taking care of yourself. You know, we make a lot of times when you have help, like battling weight issues is due to health problems or something like that. But if it's something that you can control and you want to take care of yourself, then that's what you do. Like I tell you right now, like after I had my babies, I'm still struggling with weight. Like that's one of the things where I'm used to, when back in the day I was like a size 0 and I had this little 6-pack and I was all cute. And now I look at 2 babies 12 years later and it's like, girl.
Well, here's the good news. I got some good news for you. Lizzo taught me that you can be a size 20 and be cute. See? So don't worry about it. You know, like my thing is, is my blood work good? Am I healthy? Am I going to live a long time? Then great. Then, you know, like I'll focus on that. But yeah, now it's just like, girl, you are cute. Are you kidding? I'm cute. You're cute. We're all cute. Right. And we're all sexy, beautiful women. And I finally believed that. I don't know why it took so long. Why did it take so long?
Because society. Everything. That's why. Because society has placed this stigma on being, you know, like not this mannequin size. And you know that we grew up with thinking that you had to be small to be beautiful. Like you had to be little, and if you weren't little, then, you know, and now, I mean, beauty is in an array of forms, shapes, and colors. Oh yeah. And that's the fun about being alive these days, is like anybody, everybody, we have our own. Like it's being unique is what's in. Like looking different. loving yourself, like all of those things.
It's not only just finally okay to be a weirdo, it's cool to be the weirdo, you know?
Yes, be a weirdo. No, choose to be the weirdo.
Use, you know, and I have finally found happiness. And look, I mean, it's this combination of getting doing a job that brings me so much joy that I would do it for free if I could, except I got bills. And also, you know, finding the correct diagnosis and realizing you're not a big screw up, you're not lazy, you're not stupid, you're not this and that. All the things that I feared growing up, what's wrong with me? And then realizing, no, it's just your brain works this way. And having that diagnosis was just so, it's okay. You can forgive yourself now because none of it was your fault. And then coupling that together with, you know, Lizzo fixing everything and just making me realize how effing stunning I am because I'm here for a reason. And, you know, and just realizing, you know, that if God made me, then I must be a work of art and I must be beautiful. And I have to stop worrying about, you know, critiquing his art, you know, just accept it. It's beautiful and realizing that everyone else is too. And just, you know, all of that together just made me realize like, oh my God, I'm so happy. Or maybe it's the medications. Like maybe it's just synthetic dopamine. I don't know. I don't care. Like, you know,
I love how you describe that. Like, just allow God to let this creation be seen, like as is. This is what it is.
You know, I've spent so many years hiding myself, and I'm an artist, right? I'm a spiritual person. I personally don't belong to one organized religion because my parents, you know, my mother's passed on now years ago, but I grew up with parents of different religions, and they were very much like, we're not going to raise you as one religion. You're going to choose what religion you want to be when you're grown up. And I never got around to it. But I have my feelings and you know, about spirituality. And I realize now, thanks to Lizzo, that that the way that I'm an artist and you're an artist and we're all artists with what we do, God's an artist, and we are works of art that he's made, right? And you know, and it's so funny because like people would be like, but Lenore, your dad's a scientist and you believe in evolution, but like, yes, but I still believe in God and I still believe in this higher being, and that this higher being is an artist and I am art.
Right.
Because that higher being is part of this creation, whether it be like we're all stardust, we're all part of like the galaxy and all the stars and everything, like the Big Bang and all this. You can tell my dad's a scientist. And so like all of the, you know, all of this stardust is us, and that's art. I mean, science is art. This is all art. And the thing is that by hiding myself in dark baggy clothes and like wearing t-shirts over a very tight one piece at the beach when I was sweating and everyone else is wearing like bikinis and just wanting to hide is hiding an artist's work of art. And that's rude. Like, you know, if I paint somebody a beautiful, I'm not God or anything, like not even a little bit, but if I paint something and then they walk around with a bag on their head and it's not even an 1980s saint, we got a problem.
Right. And you know, I want to add on to that because you speak of like you being a person kind of like holding yourself back from letting it all out. But we can't forget that there are people out there that are so rude and mean. They want you to feel uncomfortable about yourself. And it's like why? Like what is it to you? Like why does it matter to you that I'm comfortable and confident and I feel amazing with me? Like
all the time. Now that I've
and you know, Lizzo talks about, the reason why I even mention it is because I follow her on TikTok, and she had so somebody had commented on her picture, like she like said something really mean and nasty about her weight, and she was like, basically her response was like that she was unbothered. She was like, I'm so unbothered. Like
they were like, how can you stand yourself like just being so disgustingly obese?
Yeah.
The video of her like looked like she was crying, and she was like, ooh, and then she picked
My
up
bank
bills.
account or something. She said money.
She started picking up bills, and she's like, hold on, I'm wiping my obese tears with my obese money
that's exactly
from
what
my
I'm
obese
about.
bank account.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking. I'm talking about that. That's the TikTok I'm referring to. That's the one.
Oh, are you kidding?
You
She's
follow
my
her too.
goddess.
Yeah. So
Oh my goddess, she is the reason why I snapped out of decades of depression, of hiding myself and trying to look thinner and be thinner. All of a sudden, I was just like, no, she's a goddess. My body looks like hers. I can be a goddess. All I need is to figure out how to be that confident and that comfortable in my own skin.
Yeah.
And people get angry about it.
Yeah.
They get really mad when I walk down the street with my belly showing in a crop top. And it takes a lot of courage, and it takes a lot of just being more fed up with how repressed I have felt my whole life about my body than worrying about their feelings. So you have to get to a point you're so fed up that you're just like okay with how angry they are.
Yeah, and with not only that too, just I feel like confidence actually wears better on anything than anything else. Like,
oh yeah,
you feeling confident about yourself. Like if you were just kind of like sunk in and like, oh, I'm gloomy because this is what I look like. Like I feel like that is what make it look bad. Like own that, girl. Own all that.
It's true. I used to be like, oh, I can't go to that wedding or that reunion or that convention or whatever until I lose this much weight or I just won't want to go. And yeah, now it's just like the minute I hear there's a thing to go to, I am clothes shopping. I am looking for like the brightest colors. I am looking for like the thing that'll make me stand out the most because I'm so tired of hiding.
Yeah. And you only got one life, Lenore.
You do have
one life. You only get one shot at this.
And look, I mean, and people have said to me, like, well, why didn't you just, lose weight? You won't feel that way. I have had weight loss surgery. I lost a lot of weight. And I was still unhappy because it's stomach surgery. It's not brain surgery. Okay. Right. It doesn't change this. Like you think it will, but it really doesn't. Right. And I was still not happy. I was still eating my feelings and stress eating all the time and addicted to the sugar and everything. And it came back. But in that time that I was looking like what society considers to be amazing, I was still filled with so much anxiety and fear and self-doubt and just so still uncomfortable with me. It was like if somebody was like a man was super nice to me, I'd be like, he didn't notice me a year ago. He treated me like dirt. And now this guy is like, he knows my name and he's opening the door. Like just so much anger at how much better I was being treated. And I remember one time when I was at my heaviest before my surgery, I was going into a Barnes and Noble and there were two very like lean, like blonde girls in front of me and like very cute. And a man held the door open for them. And I was right behind them. I didn't know them, but I happened to be right behind them. He held the door open for them. And they said, thank you. And as I went to go through the door, he closed it right in my face. And then when I came in, I was like, excuse me. Like, and what? And he goes, I'm sorry. And I said, you just closed the door in my face. And he goes, I'm sorry. I didn't see you. And I had like this like nervous breakdown at Barnes and Noble in Miami, Florida. Wow. In my 20s, I was like, how did you not see me? I am 345 pounds. I am 300, and I said it out loud, which I'd never done before. I'd always hidden. I was like, I am 335 pounds. How did you not see me? And like stunned silence. And even I was like, did I just like announce my weight to the Barnes and Noble in Miami, Florida? Like, how did I do that? And it's not what I weigh now because I did lose a lot of weight with the surgery, but I gained a lot of it back. And I realized in that time that I was like, oh, I'm at my ideal weight. I'm kind of what people would call skinny and I look cute and I'm getting all this attention. But it didn't feel like it was real attention. It felt like these people don't know me. They don't really like me. They're just holding doors open for me because now I look like those girls. And it was just so much like bitterness at how much better I was being treated. And I don't know, I still didn't love myself. I wasn't there. And I hadn't accepted myself. So I know what it's like on both ends. I know what it's like to be all the sizes.
That makes me think about like when people go and they have these surgeries, why isn't that a part of it? Like, why isn't that part, like the mental, a part of it? Because obviously, like, if you've gotten to a point where you felt uncomfortable enough to have to go and get surgery, or even if it was a health reason or whatever, like I feel like that should be part of the treatment, you know?
It is, in the sense that, oh, that was hot. Look, guys, look what I did. It's super hot. It is in the sense that they tell you, at least they did back then. I mean, this was so many years ago, but they said to qualify, we had to go through, and when I say we, it's because the we is that the surgeon that we had, like made us do like a support group. And so everyone having surgery within the same 6 months, like he had this group where we all had to show up at this group together and talk about how mentally things would be different and, you know, all this stuff. And it's stuff that was told to us, but at least for me, didn't sink in. Like my thought was like, yeah, okay. Just give me the surgery so that I can get thin and people will be nice to me and I'll get a boyfriend and maybe I'll get married someday and I'll like have the life I always wanted and people will stop making fun of me and my life will be perfect. And they talking about how that might not happen and wouldn't happen. And I was like so hopeful that I was like, nah, well, it will for me. And, you know, I'm also quite young. I mean, I was, you know, in my 20s and, you know, in the whole thing. But what ended up happening is, you know, because I still didn't resolve mental issues, I went back to eating. And then I hated myself even more all over again. Failure. And everything revolved around food and my weight and measuring things and counting points. This is 3 points.
Oh, Lord.
Let's add up the points. And just everything being a revolving of, and there was no room in my brain for anything else other than worrying about what I look like, counting calories. And that's really like an obsessive, sad place to be. And so I'm so excited to just realize I don't have to live that way. And I can still accept myself for how I am and love my curves and my body and still be okay saying, yeah, I think I'm going to go sugar-free today. And I think I'm going to work out today. Not because I'm trying to fix me, but because I'm just loving me a little. Like liver, heart, I love you today. Here's a vegetable. And don't worry, I'm going to give you a little cake later, but let's eat some vegetables right now. And like thinking of it like I'm just nurturing myself. And my brain and my heart and my organs, and not like I need to fit into a bikini that looks good. Yeah.
No, I love the body positivity movement. I think that is probably the best thing that's happened to women, you know. We kind of have taken back our authority over our bodies. Like we get to decide what is beautiful and what we like to see. It's not about what other people like to see, it's about us and what we want to see ourselves.
Our turn.
Our turn. It's on us, and we are not living by those rules anymore. So I love it. So tell us more about what we can see on your Instagram that's dedicated to your food and stuff. So
people always say to me like, oh, you know, so you eat sugar-free. That sounds really boring, or that doesn't sound interesting. Or like, so what do you eat? You just basically eat cheese and eggs and bacon all day? And which, hey, that sounds delicious. But I want people to be inspired and know, first of all, like, no, there's a ton of stuff I can eat. And, you know, and I do like a thing called when I'm following the program, because I'm not always the same, but when I do follow the program, I'm doing something called Mediterranean keto, which is basically like a keto diet that's very high in things like fish, lots of salmon. You'll see a lot of photos of salmon, mackerel, like very fatty fishes. Things like fishes, fatty fish. Fishes isn't a word.
Well, fishes is a word if you're talking about different types of fish.
I did it right! Yay!
So it is a word. I that's one of those things where, like, I learned in school about fish and fishes, and I just think it's so interesting that
somebody needs to make like a meme about fishes. So and lots of vegetables, and I went into this like just not. Like, unless like, is it deep fried okra? Then yes, please. Is it like
I love okra, fried okra?
Thank you. No, like I remember coming home.
Gumbo.
I remember coming home from school to watch Popeye and Pals while eating like pickled okra out of a jar.
What? I didn't even watch that.
Do you not know about Popeye and Pals?
I did not watch that.
Oh my God. Okay. So this was
that from like Popeye's the food?
You must Google Popeye and Pals. By the way, and I'm moving you to where I can charge the computer, the little plug. So Popeye and Pals is a New Orleans staple of the 1980s, where children from different schools in New Orleans would like come together inside this place on bleachers. And it was like in this building, there was a guy with like those long microphones like they would have in like like Price is Right or whatever, like back in the day. It was this thing where it was like you come with the long microphone with the little thing, and kids would be sitting on bleachers on these benches eating Popeye's fried chicken, and they'd just be eating away, and then he would come along and be like, "Hi, little girl. Where do you go to school?" "I go to St. Martin's." "Oh, you go to St. Martin's?" "Yeah." "Well, who's your teacher?" "My teacher is Mrs. Faye." "Oh, well, hi. What do you want to be when you grow up?" "I want to be a teacher." Like that was the most common answer from the girls. "I want to be."
Oh my God! I gotta
almost all of them.
This
like,
is hilarious.
Well,
it kind of reminds me. I forget the name of it though. I don't know. I think you're breaking up, Lenore.
You froze. Oh, there you. I was like waiting for you to unfreeze.
There you are. Yay!
Yeah. It was like this cool thing. Yay! And then, like after a few kids would be interviewed, the guy would say, "Okay, we're ready for the next reel. Ready?" And these kids in these thick New Orleans accents and all these little yaks would be like, 3, 2, 1, roll them! And they point to the screen, and then a Popeye show would come up, like Popeye the Sailor Man would come on the screen. And like you'd watch an episode of Popeye the Sailor Man, and then when the episode ended, that show... Like you have to Google it. And when I was little,
I'm definitely gonna Google because I remember watching Popeye the Sailor Man, but I don't remember Popeye.
Oh, Popeye Pals is such more. And then where do you live? Chalmette. Okay, well, like tell us what your teacher's name is. Like the whole thing.
Yeah, I gotta look that up.
So classic New Orleans.
Because the only thing I remember,
I was almost on it.
Do you remember Sally from the news? I forget what news station it was, but she had like the little kids that come and they sit on. Is that what you're talking about? Are you talking about on the news where they were on the bleachers on the news?
This was a TV show that was like New Orleans local broadcast called Popeye and Pals, and you can actually
maybe that's what she got the idea from them because literally. Sally, the lady from the news, I think her name is Sally, but she's not on there anymore. She's retired now because it's old. But she used to have this segment on the news where they would bring kids before school and they would be in their uniforms, sitting on the bleachers on the news station.
She pulled a Popeye and Pals.
That's what I'm telling you that. I never heard what you're talking about, but I used to watch that show, which literally sounds exactly like what you're saying, but it's not the same thing.
She probably grew up
watching
Popeye and Pals, and she's like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do like my own thing with Popeye and Pals. Like,
you might be right. You might be right. Yes, Tammy, thank you for stopping in. Thank you. We are about to wrap up, but
okay,
that's very, very interesting, Lenore. This is what I have so far. My little snow cone, snowball. I gotta finish it. I'm gonna outline it in black. I love the purple outline, but I made it big.
All right.
Closed eye, open eye. Okay. So y'all, and I'm listen, when I go get my snowball on,
you're gonna think of me. What flavor?
I told you I get the same thing every single time. Cotton candy and condensed milk. I get it every time with a gummy bear. And sometimes I get nachos and cheese with peppers.
I like to get the spearmint with condensed milk and like turn my mouth and tongue all green and just walk around like,
Listen, when I get it, I'm going to take a picture and I'm going to send it to you on Messenger so you can see me enjoying my snowball. Okay.
I lived a quick walk from Robert's on Jefferson Highway, and I would walk over to Robert's like every day, like
yes.
a 2-minute walk from my house. I lived right near St. Rita's, and we would walk to Robert's, and I'd get a green. I'd be like, I'll take the spearmint with the condensed milk. So think of me. Get one for me.
Oh, wait, so you do spearmint and condensed milk?
Spearmint, I really liked the combination. I mean, I don't know if I'd like that flavor now. Like now I probably like other flavors too. But as a kid, I loved that.
When you come down, we have to go get like all in snowball. We got to go get it. We got to go.
Let's do it.
But Lenore, it's been literally such a pleasure to talk to you. I wish that we had another hour because I got more questions.
I have to say one thing before you let me go. Your show is amazing, and you are so good at what you do. You are so good at talking to people and making them feel so comfortable. It's a little bit dangerous because I feel like I can tell you anything. Like I could be like, let's talk about my social security number. Like you're so easy to talk to. And I wish you all the best with NOLA Creative. I just cannot get over what a talented, amazing woman you are, and you inspire me every day, and I love you.
Thank you so much for saying that. Like I was totally not expecting you to say that.
I love you. Little Lizzo loves you.
Yes. Okay. So now Lizzo gonna have to be our cousin.
That's right.
No, like this has been amazing, and my cheeks are hurting from laughing so much.
Your
like
chipmunk cheeks.
My cheeky chipmunk cheeks.
Your cheeky chipmunk cheeks.
From laughing so much. It's been such a pleasure. I tell you no lie. Like I thoroughly enjoyed this. You are welcome back anytime to come and chat it up. We got so much. We got so much to still talk about because we didn't even touch on Mardi Gras. I wanted to hear Mardi Gras story.
Mardi Gras, the time that I got hit in the head with a Zulu coconut and I had to go to Oshner. My parents took me to the ER.
Wait, don't tell it now. Don't tell it now because you coming back.
I'll come back. I got all the.
I'm gonna have you back because we didn't talk about Mardi Gras. We didn't talk about your art stuff. We got a lot to talk about still.
So much, you guys.
So we gonna do this day.
All the ladies, the 2 ladies who've gone into labor while I was painting their bellies. We have a lot to go over. I almost learned how to deliver children.
Oh God! Oh my God! My ears is hurting so bad from laughing. Lord, help me, Lenore. Like I can't with you. I can't. It hurt.
It hurt so bad. It's a good hurt.
It hurts so bad. Yes, Barbara. Yes, I hope so. We want to encourage people. This show is all about sharing stories and showing our art. Lenore, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much. I love you. Thank you for being you.
Yes, thank you for being you. Thank you for being you. Hang out for me just a few minutes. I'm going to close up and I'm going to come to chat with you. Okay.
All right.
All right, you guys. That was amazing. Oh my God, y'all. Listen. The back of my ears. I don't know if y'all ever felt like this, but you know how you laugh so much that the back of your ears hurt? That's how I feel right now. And my cheeks are burning. I am so thankful that you guys came to join me today, and I'm so happy that I got a chance to talk to Lenore and have some fun painting snowballs. And y'all, when I get my snowball, I will put it in my story so y'all can see what I'm talking about. It's so good and so tasty. But y'all make sure that if y'all have not hit that button to like this video, subscribe, and make sure that you guys show me some love. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram. Make sure y'all go and follow Lenore at the_cheeky_chipmunk. And thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of NOLA Creative. We are so thankful to have you guys. And y'all have a good rest of your Wednesday, okay? Bye.